We are back at the Madras Motor Race Track in Sri Perumbudur, Tamil Nadu. The weather is a little muggy, we've got a collection of really hot cars, the Autocar India team is all hands on deck, and that can only mean one thing. It's the most wonderful time of the year for us here at Autocar India, and no, I don't mean a public holiday. It is, of course, the Autocar India Track Day, and boy do we have some variety with us here today. We've got everything from a 3-cylinder all the way to a 12-cylinder. But variety is good. Two things have always remained constant. This track and this man right here, Mr. Narain Karthikeyan. Hi Narain, how's it going?
Very good, thank you.
So tell me, what do you think about this lineup?
Well, it's a very it's an awesome lineup this year. We have a lot of nice cars, and I'm really looking forward to this.
But also, have you noticed, of all these cars here, just a handful, maybe just one or two are still naturally aspirated, they're not turbocharged. Everything else is forced induction now.
Yes, except for the Indy Track Day car, which has a 2-liter normally aspirated engine, and the little Maruti Suzuki. I think everything is turbocharged. A turbocharged car actually delivers the power much better and so on, but I'm from the old school. I always like NA cars.
But it's not just the cars, it's also this track. It's been our home for the last 10 years and you've put down lap times for over 100 cars now.
Firstly, this track, this is a great layout, and I grew up driving here, and we have a lot of good memories. As you said, we've driven over 100 cars here. The driver and the track remains constant, so we could always do comparisons to past cars and compare it to the car lineup today.
So like you said, a phenomenal lineup here today. I can't wait to see what kind of times these cars put down. So without any further ado, let's head to the pits, set up and get this show on the road. Now yes, it is a day we all look forward to every year, but that doesn't mean it's all fun and games. We have a tight schedule and a strict regimen. All the cars have to be adequately fueled, sitting on fresh tires with the pressures bumped up by 4 psi. Our satellite-guided V-Box timing gear has to be securely strapped into place, the onboard cameras have to be mounted, and we even try to record the noise wherever possible. And of course, though we have a professional racing driver at the wheel, for cars upwards of 300 horsepower, the helmets must come on. As ever, we're going up the table from the slowest lap time to the quickest, so it's not much of a surprise that we start with the only SUV in this year's batch. The EcoSport created quite a stir back in 2013 when, with just a 1-litre engine, it set a lap time of 2:19.3. This facelifted car, however, isn't as quick, clocking in at just 2 minutes 21.39.
Dynamically, I would say, probably this has gone a bit softer in my opinion, and the engine doesn't feel so strong as the previous generation car. But there's no lap time benefits because the ESP cuts in very strongly. Probably a much more comfortable car than what it used to be, but dynamically we're giving away a lot of time.
Up next, a track day veteran, the Maruti Suzuki Swift. It may use the same engine, but it's almost 100 kgs lighter. It also set a 2 minutes 18.44 second lap time, almost a full second quicker than the old one.
The sporty feel of the first generation Swift to now, it's come down drastically, I feel, and nevertheless, it's not a bad car. I think it's compromised a lot by the tires it runs. I've never heard of this brand, so I think it's exceptionally hard tire for mileage. So, these are some of the factors that probably don't add up to the lap time.
Next up, SKODA's blue-collar rocket, the OCTAVIA RS. With more power, a lowered suspension and fatter wheels, it was so quick it almost took the crown for the fastest front-wheel drive car, posting a time of 2 minutes 6.8 seconds.
Yeah, the biggest difference from the other SKODAs to the VRS, the current VRS, is obviously we feel a lot more from the engine because it has 230 horsepower. The dynamics of the car also is very capable, I must say, on the track, and for this sort of car to do a 2 minute 6 second lap here is quite an achievement. Minding you, these are standard tires which have very rounded shoulders because of wear and tear. and finally Skoda has decided to bring the entire package, not just aesthetics.
Next on the list, the second most powerful car we have with us today, the Mercedes-AMG S63 Coupe. But how come it's so far down the list? Well, you can sort of see why, can't you? Merc's opulent big coupe is based on the S-Class limo, but it's also an AMG with a 612 horsepower V8. We just had to, didn't we?
It's heavy, it's big, and it has the air suspension, so it's very comfy. But overall, it's still a lot of fun. It has a lot of torque, and it goes sideways if you want it to, and so on. So I feel bad to drive this car on the racetrack.
Now, Audis aren't always the first cars to come to mind when you think about fun driving dynamics, but every now and then Audi gets the balance and setup of one of them just right. And then, if the car also happens to have one of Audi's energetic, rev-happy and powerful engines, like a 354 horsepower turbocharged V6 under its hood, it makes for a great overall package.
Well, it's a big improvement compared to the older generation of the S5, mainly from the way the four-wheel drive system behaves. So the other car inherently had a lot of understeer built in, but now this car, it's a lot of fun. You can actually slide the car and on the track, which means you can take sharper lines, and the ride even it's quite nice, not bone-shatteringly stiff, but pretty supple. So on the road, it must be a phenomenal car to get from point A to B.
And now, breaking the 2-minute barrier is, to my eyes at least, the sexiest looking car on this list. Gorgeous in yellow, the Aston Martin DB11. But it's more than just a pretty face. Its big V12 engine sounds the part, it has plenty of grunt, the chassis lets you carry in a fair amount of speed, and it isn't too intimidating to drive quick either.
This car is really meant to cruise around and tour. It's more of a touring, a grand touring car. So probably not well suited for the track. Nevertheless, it's very competitive, and it looks stunning from the outside, and it drives the same way as it looks.